Hey everybody, my name is Michael, and this has been a while since we've made a vlog like this. I remember back in Poland, we would walk around our little teeny tiny apartment, and it was like an oven. It's summertime right now. Here, it's kind of cold, dude. It was like an oven where I was on the 11th floor, top floor, and it was this old Soviet construction where all the heat would radiate right towards the top. It was a metal roof, and it was like a sauna. Like I would have to literally sit in my underwear, and there was no air conditioning. Most Polish apartments, well now they're building them with AC, but most back then, there was no AC. Even the top elites, very, very rare was it that you had air conditioning. So what would you do? You just sweat bullets. But anyways, we are reverting back to old Avi in a sense, but creating a new one. And this, I mean, we're killing off the old Michael. We're creating a new Michael, and I'm excited for this chapter. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happened this year, and the year is only halfway through. So hopefully it's going well for you guys. Right now, I am, well, got to post a personal update because I guess some of you do enjoy that. It's been a while since we've actually done this, and I haven't been posting as much recently because there's been a lot of crazy stuff. So let's go through it. How many jobs have I changed the past 5 years? A bunch, but I finally have an offer, a life-changing offer that I got. I was approved for. I've applied to so many jobs, and recently I had like a light bulb moment where it's like, okay, I got to start thinking like a kid. You know, I'm 27. I kind of messed up where I dropped out of school and I never finished it. Well, now we're finishing it, and it's never too late, right? Follow your dreams, all that. In this economy, it's super bad trying to find a job. So I was fired recently, and then I had to just find any job, and I did, and it didn't end up so great. And then we went looking for a different one. Now we're, again, it's been a weird hustle. So apart from just constant job interviews, constantly changing jobs, doing gig work, trying to hustle, selling everything we've got, doing whatever we can to get that dollar to pay the bills, we've also started a couple other ventures just to make sure rent's paid, just to make sure the car's paid. Yeah, it's late, but it gets paid, and that's the number one thing that matters, right? We've done a fair amount of interviews for management trainee internship style deals, right? All these companies require a degree, all of them. And I'm super close. I'm at like the very end of it. But it's the toughest classes. It's math classes. And I've always sucked at math. Well, most of my life I sucked at math. When I was younger, I was actually decent at it. By the way, my voice, I lost it completely. So I'm thankful. I was supposed to have an interview yesterday, but we scheduled it for today because yesterday I couldn't even speak at all. Like a couple days ago, lost my voice completely. So that's always fun, getting super sick into the summer. Why not? Everybody around me was sick, so I guess it kind of transfers over. But I have until the end of this month to get my degree done. I don't know if it's going to be fully possible. I think it is. I think it can be. If I wasn't, concerned about money, paying bills, finding jobs, all this stuff, if I was just strictly focused on education, 100%. It would be a monumental task then, but 100%. Now it's like, okay, we got to come up with thousands of dollars. We got to work. We got to do gig work. And then we also have to do education. It's a little tricky. I mean, either way, we're going to finish some classes this month. Are we going to get the degree? I don't know, but we did get a nice job offer, and we do have other companies as well with offers that we can get. Worst case scenario later this summer. And those are also pretty good, I would say, close to life-changing offers. And the reason for these management trainee positions, there's a lot of them out there. I've chosen ones that align with the industry I've previously worked in, and there's a fair amount of these companies. And that could be, for example, I'm from automotive, so it could be products and services related to the automotive industry. It could be car insurance. It could be all of these, for example, one that I've applied to recently was Progressive Auto Claims Adjuster, whatever. They make good money, but last year I got rejected when I just applied for the position itself because they want someone with a bunch of experience. There's not very many people that do it, and they pay good money for it. I've actually sold to clients who were that, and I understand why they rejected me. Obviously, I didn't have my degree at the time. Now, I have a much greater chance of getting something like that because they're going for a trainee position, which pays you less. But after the training period, then you make the good money. And then you're able to, if you don't like this position, you're able to laterally promote yourself within that company to any other department, anything similar. We recorded a bunch of videos, but never posted anything because I didn't like them. I didn't like any of the stuff I did over the past month. We did gig work related videos, we did personal updates, but this one is a little different. Why? Because this is the beginning of summer, even though it doesn't feel like it. Certainly doesn't, because it feels like winter. I have had a profound change these past couple of months. There's been a lot of changes, whether it was financial changes, personal changes, stuff related to school, work, all that. And I'm excited because this is it. Like, there's no going back now with what's happened. The only way I hope is up at this point. So it's been a struggle. It's been like the worst year of my life ever. But I've been listening to a lot of David Goggins recently, and it's all about being comfortable with where you are, which is uncomfortable chaos all the freaking time. So as long as you're comfortable with that, it doesn't matter. If it's raining outside, you're going to go jog. If you can't pay your bills, if you're close to getting evicted, if you're close to losing your car, that's all right. You're going to figure out a way through this because you have to stop being a little bit... You know, it works. Honestly, I was stressed out for the longest period of time. I still am stressed out, but I'm less stressed out because I realize, okay, it is what it is. We can't change it. It is, life's unfair. We can't complain all the time. We got to just do. And we're going to try this. If it fails, that's fine. We're going to try something else. If that fails, we're going to keep on trying. And we failed so many freaking times that at this point, it's like we get these small little inklings of success here and there, and we're going to latch onto that. We're going to dominate with that as soon as we get it because we're waiting for that opportunity. If someone looks into my life right now, there's zero stability, zero whatsoever. It's constant chaos. There's constant problems. That's all right because that's what's going to build us into a stronger person and hopefully become successful in the future. That's the only thing I want. I want to be successful, and I will do whatever it takes to get there. I have no idea how I'm going to get there from the position I'm in right now, because it's probably the worst position I've ever been in. But I know it's not an impossible situation. It's not like a monumental task that is going to take centuries. No, this may take as little as 1 year to get out of. It's not going to be perfect next year. It never is. You can plan all you want and all your plans are going to go to shams. All that matters is you can't give up. You have to constantly be disciplined about this. And whatever way you're trying to get there, and we're trying, there's certainly a lot of methods. We're going to do whatever it takes. Within reason, of course, you know what I mean. I'm excited because we're going to figure this stuff out. And recently I made, like, for example, my most recent mistake, I freaked out because I wasn't making enough money at this one job. And I was like, all right, let's go back to car sales, right? And I went back to car sales for 2 days, and it was the worst thing ever. I knew I was going to make $0 there. I got a little bit of a tan because I was standing outside. This was the first dealership I've ever been at where you had to stand outside. And I talked with some of the guys there, and I was like, all right, some guys are killing it. Some guys aren't. I realized in order for me to get to the point where I'm going to be killing it, it's going to take months and months to research the product, to actually know what you're doing, because it was a new, completely, I never sold domestics before, and it was like, okay, I have no idea. I realized if I'm trying to make a bunch of money this month, that's not going to happen. Not a chance. So I left, and we're looking at more realistic options right now. Ultimately, what's probably going to happen is this year, for the rest of this year, we're going to have 2-3 jobs. We're going to work hard. We're going to get our education done. And even if I get the life-changing job offer, it doesn't matter. We still have to get a second job. So we're going to work hard. We're going to have 2-3 gigs going at the same time alongside my passion project, my venture, my hobby that hopefully will eventually result in some money. And we're going to get out of here. I have a plan. It's going to be a long plan. It's going to be a long journey. Number one is just to get back to zero. Number one is just to get, make sure you're not getting evicted, not losing the car, getting your bills paid. And then that's when you can invest more into the passion project, which hopefully will return a profit. We'll see. It doesn't require a lot of effort. That's the number one thing. It's like I'm trying a bunch of stuff here. So I just wanted to do a little update with you guys. And that's where we are. And hopefully it's going to get better from here on out, my friends. And now that I started recording this, like now it's getting hot in here in this room. I don't know. Also, I feel great. We've been losing weight recently. I've been a little, due to stress, I haven't been super consistent with like my daily walks, but I've been consistent with, just doing dumbbells and stuff. And on the days where we do work out, we actually go pretty hard. So now it's all about just consistent every single day, the same pattern, especially walking. Walk is the easiest. It's the best for, especially when you've got a lot of weight, so it doesn't hurt your bones. But the number one thing that matters is each week the scale goes down a little bit. That's all that matters. All right. So I did just come out of a car crash interview. That's okay. We have another interview scheduled for once the weekend's over. I think that was one of the worst interviews I've been in a while. It only lasted 15 minutes. So I guess it wasn't a complete waste of time. And maybe it's a good thing because the route to get there would have been absolutely terrible with construction and highway traffic. And it was getting pretty close to the city. It was a 45-minute drive and honestly not worth it. So anyways, I am excited. It is the beginning of summer. It is warming up slightly, but it's a good thing because I can wear suits to the interviews still, and I have a lot of things planned. I really do hope that in the future I'll be able to discuss more about this hobby that hopefully turns into a business that hopefully eventually I won't have to even deal with any of this stuff because It'll be a business that pays, all my bills, and I'm able to live off that. But it's very, very early stages. I've already invested some capital. We've already done some things to ensure that, hey, it's going to grow. But like any business that's just starting, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm totally fine with that. So we're going to have a lot of long work weeks. We got to study. We got to stay focused on the money, hustle, and that's pretty much that. So it's going to be a tough year. It is the worst year, but we're going to get out of this, and I'm very excited because you guys will join me on this journey, I guess. So anyways, stay focused, stay locked in, and we'll get through all this together. Hey, everybody. So it is the next day, and there's a couple points I did want to bring up as well. First thing is, wow, this year, this month has been quite crazy. I've never had internet shut off. I've never had a phone shut off. Today we had to reactivate my suspended AT&T service. So that was interesting. We got it back. But we're going to go grind today. That's it. I've never had to face potentially eviction or repossession of vehicles or all this stuff, but it is what it is, right? Life doesn't care. It throws whatever it has to at you. So all you can do right now, my schedule is we're going to study. We're going to work out. We're going to go grind the gig apps while we're interviewing, while we're setting up interviews for next week. And that's it. And then all the extra free time, we're going to try and set up 4 hours of studying, 8 hours of grinding, and then a couple hours for myself, and then also videos. And then within those couple hours, work on my passion project, which hopefully in the future can give me a little bit of extra dough. It's all these little things that add up. For example, what was it, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, I started the Amazon videos, all that stuff. I never actually went more than 100 videos. I stopped uploading those, and I wish I didn't. Really, I just needed more objects to film with, and I probably should do more of in the future, later this summer when I have more time, because it's not a huge result. But the fact that I spent a decent amount of time uploading those first 100 videos, and then I stopped, every single month, it's been consistent. There's been some months where it's $10. There's been one month, like last month, it was like $33. This is more than a year after the last upload. Haven't done anything. It's just on autopilot. It's literally running in the background. So at that point, those 100 videos have made me hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Again, most of those were small ticket items. If I had a bunch of, flat screen TVs and MacBooks and other stuff, I would have made a lot more. Some of those were reviewing Poppy and, drinks and energy drinks and water and stuff. But some of those were like my wife's computer or an iPhone or a watch. And those did bring in a decent amount of results. So again, later this year, we will be uploading more content. And that's why I'm very excited using that Amazon example for this passion project. Right now, we've invested time, we've invested some money, and all it is at this point is we've got some content, we're gonna market it. It's gonna take a little bit of time for it to grow, but eventually it's evergreen content. It's not like, oh, it's seasonal, it's cyclical. No, all it takes is for one of those pieces to take off. And again, if it's an extra $30, $40, $50, $100, $200, $300 per month, that's literally just there in the background on autopilot, it all adds up. You have $30 here, you have $100 there, you have $200 here, boom, your phone bill's paid, boom, your internet's paid, boom, these small little bills, utilities are paid. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It's fine. Speaking of which, I have to pay my utility bill because I didn't pay it last month, and they're going to shut that off soon too. But summer, we need AC, right? No, not really. The AC's not working anyway, so not that it makes a difference. Guys, this has been a challenge. This year has been crazy, but one thing I am excited about, the most I ever weighed was 365 pounds. Crazy, right? And it really has fluctuated. A couple years ago when I had Avi and Kubera and all that, the lowest I got to was like 179, 180. And I think at that point I was coming down for like 300 something. I don't know the exact number, but 365 during COVID was kind of the craziest I've ever been. I think it was 365 even last year where I was at. So, or maybe even the beginning of this year. I wasn't even keeping track of everything. I know for sure just a couple months back it was 340s, and I was kind of just stuck there. And then it did go down at the 330s, and it was kind of like plateaued. It was high 330, like 339, 338, and that was all I saw for the longest time ever. I was stressed out, I was eating. And now we just hit 308. It's going to take some time, it's going down every couple of days. It's not like, oh, every single day I'm losing a pound. No, it takes a couple of days. And then there are some days where I may eat a little more. I may not have as much time because, when you're sitting in a car doing gig work, not a lot that you're going to be able to, run around. But there's other days where I try and make up for that. So I'm excited to be below 300 pretty soon. And I feel already a little bit better. The mind's a little clearer. Although I'm still sick right now, so that kind of sucks. And I also do have like these icicle migraines here. I don't know, it's like right behind this eye. And my teeth are hurting, and my ears hurting, and my eyes hurting, like all from this one super tender point here. Now it's all right because I took ibuprofen. Like I can still feel it, but overnight it was like, oh my God, you know, crazy. If you're experiencing migraines, let me know. They're never fun. I don't know, I've had migraines for years now, ever since I was a kid, but the icicle stuff, or ice, whatever it's called, I don't know. I've had it in different spots where like sometimes you touch the back of your head. It's this teeny tiny tender spot. I don't know, it like radiates all over. Crazy stuff. Usually goes away after a couple days. The number one thing is you cannot give up. The number one thing is all of these trials that I'm going through right now. I honestly think this is going to help me when I'm 30 years old, and hopefully by then successful. I'm 27, turning 28. I've got 2.5 years. I don't want to be broke. I definitely don't want to have bad credit still. I definitely don't want to be in this position where it's like, oh, I can't pay my bills. I want to be net positive. Not only that, I want investments. I want normal cash flow coming in. So I got 2.5 years basically to fix my life here. And I understand that this is it. This is it. There's no going back to yesterday or 10 years from now. Time is flying by every single day. That's all I have. Okay, what will I be in a couple years? Will I regret who that version is of myself? I need to leave behind a legacy. I am nowhere, anywhere near that right now. I got a mission, and I have to do whatever it takes to get there. But before that, I've got to, take care of all these smaller little problems, right? Low-level stuff. Once I get past the low-level stuff, there's these days where I'm not as stressed out, and it's kind of in the back of my mind because it's been years and years of debt and all these crazy, chaotic situations where I realize, okay, there's these moments where I kind of imagine, okay, it's not there, right? If it's not there, because I already have plans. All right, this is how we're going to attack it. Plans are never going to be perfect. There's only so much you can do. It's not like you could constantly stress out like you just do. And if your plan fails, that's fine. You start another one. You keep grinding and tackle it slowly, bit by bit, right? You can't tackle the entire mountain the same day. You can't climb Mount Everest in one day. So all you can do during those moments is imagine, okay, what if it didn't exist? How would life be like that? Because that's going to happen. That is reality one day in the future. You're envisioning that. You can almost see it. It's literally there. It's crazy. You're kind of making yourself a little delusional, but seeing that moment where you feel it, you're like, okay, that's gone. I'm in a great situation. I got a great car. I got a great house. I got everything I wanted, right? Job security, or maybe I created my own job or company, right? You're envisioning that and you can feel it and you're like, wow, that's a great feeling. I don't feel stressed anymore. I feel great. I feel super confident. I'm now able to let all my creative free-flowing ideas go. And then you're like, okay, well, I don't have it yet. Reality sinks in. I'm not there. But it's not that far off. Because all it takes is one little success, that it's the domino effect, right? Everything spirals upwards. Where right now, if you're in a negative mindset and there's a whole lot of chaos going on, it's going to spiral downward and everything gets tracked into it. But that's okay. You can change all of that. All it takes is mentality, a little bit of luck, but ultimately persistence, discipline. You got to keep at it, and eventually, hopefully, one of these days you get through it, right? No matter what life tosses at you, everyone, you should have something you're grateful for every day, right? Because everyone's going through some tough times. Everyone's got their problems. Everyone's got some financial issues. Everyone always wants more, right? But there's a billion people out there right now. You have a house, you got water, you got food, you got shelter. There's a billion people out there that may not have that may be in war-torn countries that lost their families. The kid in Syria who his entire family was bombed out, he's going to be looking at your life and he'd trade with you in a millisecond, right? Or there's so many different scenarios where people are in prisons, or they've been put in, or they've been captured by a foreign military, or crazy stuff, right? They're trying to escape the cartels, whatever. You're not going through that. You're just chilling. You may have some debt, you may have some crazy stuff here and there, but that's it. You'll get through it. Some of these people, it's going to take decades to get anywhere near to where you are right now. So got to be grateful for what you have, got to continue on. And I don't know how this video is just going to be a long rant of things, but I do want to look back hopefully a year from now and be like, okay, Michael, that year sucked, but you got through it. Let's learn some lessons. And that's it. Anyways, I got to get to work here. I got to grind, man. 84%. We just finished a class. 19 credits left. So 5 classes left. I don't know about that. 5 credits left and final paper. Not credits, Jesus. Project management sucked. I thought it would be way easier. So we have principles of economics, quantitative analysis for business, applied probability and statistics, algebra, applied algebra, managing in a global business environment, and then the business management capstone written project, which is the final paper. So I read that applied algebra is pretty easy. Again, I'm worried because I haven't had proper math class in years. The one that really kind of makes me nervous is applied probability and statistics and quantitative analysis for business. I read the economics one, whatever. You can just go on Khan Academy, microeconomics and macro and all that stuff. But we'll see how that goes. Anyways, it is the 6th today. So again, if I had all the time in the world just to study, just to focus on that, not a problem. But studying's not my top priority right now. Yes, studying can unlock this really cool job, which will help with the money aspect, but it doesn't matter if I'm going to be living under a bridge by the time I'm able to unlock that, right? They shut off my freaking phone today. They're going to shut off internet. They're going to shut off everything before I can even finish this. So we have to, our top priority is money. It's gig work. It's going to interviews. It's making money, selling things. Like that is literally it. Just money. How do we get this money? And then when we have free time at school, and then final, is eating healthy, which again, we need money for that. I love these shrimp salads, $7, $6.99 from Trader Joe's. They're awesome. They taste great. 390 calories only. They're awesome. But we need money for that. We need money for healthy eating, and we need money for the gym, which we can't afford. So we're just, using dumbbells and the gym on the property here. But it is also embarrassing using that when you haven't paid rent. But, it is what it is. We do pay rent, maybe a little later, but anyways, I just need to come up with $6,000 this month. Really $7,000, but $6,000 I could survive. The only reason it's that high is because of last month. There's bills from last month, and it's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. So I can't wait to just finish this because it's been dragging on. I restarted school March 2023. It's not my first time. I've taken college courses before. I've had other credits, which I didn't use for this. I wanted something that I can accelerate. So technically, if I do complete it in June, well, then this would be a 2.5-year program. But I've actually less than 2.5 years, as long as I finish before August. But I don't know. And here's the other thing. If I don't finish in June, I still need to finish it in August, because if I take another class, then that demotes me. So the next semester I would be a part-time, and I don't think I would get the necessary financial aid to pay for everything and whatever. And it just wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. So we got to finish it. Like August is literally the deadline. June is like, let's go. But anyways, updating you guys.